Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. So I am so happy and honored to have you all here with me today. I pray that you are doing well, feeling well, staying safe, and as relaxed and as peaceful as possible in today's time. This is a kind of a timeless video. The information in this video is going to be timeless because this video, like I said, I'm going to start saying that these new and full moon videos are inspired by the either new or full moon. So this video is inspired by the new moon in Aries because you guys can use all the information in this video all year long. It does not matter what time of the year it is. And let me just say that this video is for all signs. You do not have to be an Aries sun, moon, or rising in order for this information to apply to you. So it doesn't matter if you are a Libra, Sagittarius, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Capricorn, doesn't matter. Whatever it is you are, this video still applies to you. The information in this video still applies to you, okay? Because this is a general collective reading, all right? So if you already know what it is that you are here for in the video, then you can head down to the description in the comment section down below for the timestamps to different points and topics discussed in the video, like the astrological chart that I will be reviewing for the new moon in Aries happening March 24th. And yeah, so we're just going to get started. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to say to you guys. I think we might be good. So yeah, let's just go on ahead and jump straight into this video. All right, so starting off with this new moon in Aries, for us to talk about the new moon in Aries, we need to understand the energy or the gut of Aries. What is this energy like? Aries is the very first sign in the zodiac. That means that Aries is the ruler of the first house when we talk about the astrological wheel or the astrological chart. Aries, in my opinion, is much like the magician card in tarot and the major arcana of tarot, where, you know, the guy, he's like wielding the wand, and, you know, people, when we see the magician card, we instantly think of like, oh, manifestation, we're manifesting, right? But the magician isn't just somebody that's a master manifester. He's actually just someone that's very strong-willed, and that is very much to the tune of Aries. I actually think that Aries might rule the magician card, or it might be Mars that rules the magician card in tarot. I'm not sure, but yeah, they have a lot of similarities there just because of their strong will to do things, to get things done. So to those outside looking in, the magician in the magician card of tarot, he looks like someone that is making all of these impossible things happen by performing magic, when in reality it's just his willpower that makes things happen. That's where his magic lies. Aries is all about wanting, desiring, or needing something so much that the lack of having this thing is actually what pushes them and helps them to achieve it. Aries is a fire sign, so this can be a very passionate sign. Like I said, he's the first sign of the zodiac, so Aries energy is very competitive. They want to be the first, they want to be the best, they want to be the one to blaze the trail. Now we have to talk about Aries' ruling planet, which is Mars, the god of war. So if you've been in my channel before, then you know that I see Mars as the planet of purpose, direction, motivation, determination, drive, passion. Mars is the reason that we do the things that we do, the reason that you get out of bed in the morning and you go to work because you have to pay your bills, or you have a family to take care of, or maybe you just like the life that you live. So this is Mars, resilient, strong, stubborn, determined, and committed to its purpose or its object of affection. Now moving on to a new moon. What is a new moon? So a new moon is when the sun and moon are conjunct, meaning that they are sitting very close to one another. Some people say that conjunction happens within 8 degrees, but when we deal with astrology, we have something called an orb, which just basically means degree allowance. So the moon is invisible at the time of a new moon. Every single new moon, the moon is invisible. Now the moon has drained herself of her own energy during a new moon, so that the way she can be implanted with new and fresh ideas, opinions, objectives, purpose, and direction. But basically, this new moon is all about purging and releasing. That the way we can be filled up with this new fresh energy and this new purpose. Now there's something very different with this new moon here, and that is because the sun and moon are conjunct for this new moon, like I was talking about, but they are also joined by a third party for this new moon named Chiron. So the sun, moon, and Chiron are in conjunction at the time of this new moon. They're all sitting very, very close to each other at the time of this new moon. Now, when we are dealing with Chiron, we are dealing with an energy that can see and sense others, and he can identify with their pains because Chiron has been inflicted with the same issue or with the same pain. But the issue with Chiron is that he is unable to identify the source of his own pain, so he needs a little help in saving from others. Basically, a really great example of Chiron would be somebody that's in a very toxic relationship, but they give the best relationship advice, and it's like, if only you could apply that advice to your own relationship in your own life, you'd probably be okay, you know? So this is kind of like where people are able to see other people's issues but not their own, and the reason why that they are able to see other people's issues is because they're dealing with the same problems. They just aren't necessarily aware of it. So that's what we deal with when we deal with Chiron. So the moon is like our soul, and the sun is like our consciousness, the way that we identify, how we see ourselves, right? So with the sun, moon, and Chiron conjunct for this new moon in Aries, this is us being very aware, consciously and emotionally aware of what's been harming, draining, and burdening us. What's been keeping us back from a better life, the issues that have been keeping us back from a better life. So this is not just us being able to identify other people's pain, but us also being able to see, wow, this is the same place that I'm struggling in. This is the same things that are hurting me. Now with this new moon in Aries, this is what I call productive pain. Lazy pain is suffering. Productive pain works. We need pain that labors and gets us somewhere. It's much, much better than just sitting back in pain and allowing it to ravage us to the point where we're just suffering and we're stagnant. We're stuck in that place. But when we have productive pain, this is pain that gets us somewhere. This is pain that makes us develop some sort of enlightenment or conscious awareness of what's going on. This is what is happening when we have this new moon and the sun conjunct Chiron. This is us taking our suffering and pain, converting that to knowledge and wisdom that is actually going to end up helping us moving forward. Now we can see and identify the red flags because of what we've been through. So when we see certain things, that's actually going to alert us to say, hey, whoa, I've been here before. Let me go on ahead and stop this or deal with this before this starts up in another karmic cycle or another bad cycle that I do not want to be a participant of anymore. Now moving on to Neptune and Mercury in the sign of Pisces. Now Mercury just recently went direct March 10th, but he is still in his retrograde zone up until March 29th, and we call this retro shade. And this is because he's slowly catching back up to his normal speed that he is used to traveling at. So this is like us trying to run through water because Mercury rules the mind, how we communicate, how we learn, how we talk, our intellect. So the biggest issue that I'm actually seeing here, even though Mercury is stationed direct in the sign of Pisces, the biggest issue that I am seeing here is right now everything may seem very drawn out. Almost like everything is moving in slow motion like the Matrix or something. Everything may feel very amplified, very dramatic, very magnified. Hours may feel like days and days may feel like weeks. This is the effect that Pisces, the sign Pisces, has on planets, luminaries, celestial bodies, and us as well. Pisces and Neptune, who is the ruler of Pisces, Jupiter is also another ruler of Pisces, but when we deal with, when we deal with either Neptune, Jupiter, or the sign Pisces, we're dealing with energies that disorient everything. Now, there's a lot that we can gain with this transit here with Mercury being in the sign of Pisces. The only issue is that we have to stop wanting to escape from Pisces and the energy of Pisces. So at this time, you may be feeling like you want to scratch your skin off, like you want to escape your own body, like you can't take it, like you're very weary, you're very restless, almost a little bit irritable. This can cause us to feel like. So you may be feeling very tired, very exhausted because everything feels so drawn out and because everything feels like it's moving in slow motion. This is the effect that Pisces is having on our mind, on our mental psyche right now. Now this can be a very good thing because this can help us to highlight our strengths, weaknesses, and temptations. Instead of trying to escape this, we can use this time to pinpoint the things that we fall for that always ends us up in the same place at the same time, over and over and over again. This can bring a lot of objectivity to us if we see these things without judging it and without wanting to escape. Now moving on to Mars, Pluto, and Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn. Now God is truly an architect because these planets being here for the new moon is us identifying or drawing a line in the sand between basically our worst fears and insecurities. You know, it's like drawing a line in the sand and saying, okay, that's the shit that scares the absolute hell out of me. And this is a side of life that I can sort of digest. It's more easily metabolized with me. This is a reality that I can actually subscribe to because it's not so difficult or aggressive or abrasive or scary to deal with. But we're not just pointing out these fears or these dark aspects of ourselves. We're actually identifying where they came from in the first place. This is because Capricorn rules the archetypal realm. Capricorn is the god of materialism, the physical plane. This is everything that we can see, feel, and touch. This is the things that we can grip onto, flesh, bone, and blood. And Mars is bringing some light, perspective, and determination, basically, to the dark mother, who is known as Pluto. Now, Pluto is considered the dark mother because Pluto is a feminine planet, and Pluto is the furthest planet from our sun in our own solar system. Pluto, because it's such a dark planet, rules our worst fears. These are the fears that we can sense, we can feel them, but we cannot see them. So Mars is bringing some light and determination and some perspective to this fear. Now, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, like I just recently described him, he is the magnifying glass that you run over an object, so he blows everything up, he amplifies everything. Now, Jupiter is also moving through the sign of Capricorn, and what he is doing in there, he is magnifying or intensifying Pluto, the dark mother, and our deepest fears that we can sense but cannot see. So Jupiter is really magnifying a lot of our anxieties. This is why the world is in so much anxiety right now, because it's like we can feel something, but we can't necessarily see it. Now, Mars, the god of war, is carving through this darkness with a vengeance because we are so sick and tired of this feeling. We're so sick and tired of feeling this fear and not understanding where it's coming from, not understanding why do I keep self-sabotaging? Why do I keep screwing up all of my relationships? Why do I keep screwing up all these opportunities? Why do I keep talking down about myself? Why do I not believe in myself? Why do I feel this way about me? Why do I feel this way about others? Why do I feel this way about life? What the fuck is going on, basically, right? Some of us have been haunted for years, for our entire lives, by our insecurities, fears, traumas, and past, our doubts, our limiting thoughts and beliefs. We've been so plagued by these things that we're almost not even scared anymore. At that point in time is when that little rebellious thought or voice starts to play into our minds. And that is when we start to think or wonder like, I wonder what it would be like if I wasn't carrying this shit around anymore. I wonder what it would be like if I wasn't carrying this weight of my fears and my doubts, my regrets, my shame, my anger, my past, my traumas. I wonder what it would be like if I wasn't carrying this around anymore. It's that little rebellious thought that plants that seed, and then we start to wonder, what if I just let this go? We may start to feel a bit rebellious towards our own fears. Now, Mars, the god of war, is traveling through Capricorn, an earth sign, and Uranus, the god of chaos, is traveling through Taurus, another earth sign, and they are both squaring off with each other for this new moon. This leads me to talking about Venus and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Now, Uranus, like I said, is the god of disruption, chaos, disturbance. But you all know that I love Uranus too much to do him like that. Like, y'all know, like, if you've been on my channel, then you know that I talk about Uranus with the utmost affection and respect, because Uranus is sitting directly on my ascendant, same exact degree and everything. So I don't see Uranus as this planet of chaos. I see Uranus as the individual. So there is no blueprint to follow. It's just, you're like this wild, untamed, undomesticated free spirit. And that's exactly what Uranus is. So Uranus is a little selfish, but it's Uranus's inability to care about what others think is where his superpower lies. This is what frees us when we deal with astrology. Uranus, his energy, is what frees us from a lot of those opinions that have sort of weighed us down or kept us stagnant or kept us too afraid to step out of the status quo, to step out of the comfort zone that is the status quo. So Uranus in the sign of Taurus, squaring off with Mars, is challenging our fears in a way. Uranus is almost tempting us a little bit and saying, hey, don't you want to come over here? The grass is greener on the other side. Now, the only issue that I'm I'm seeing with the square here is that if we are sort of tempted enough by Uranus to sort of stop, or to sort of prematurely stop dealing with our inner demons, if we prematurely step away from that, we'll never actually be freed. Even though Uranus is trying to free us, we need to deal with the source of our issues, with the source of our fears. But Uranus can also help us to stay motivated in this quest of dealing with our inner darkness. You guys know, if you've been on my channel for a while now, then you know that I hardly ever see squares as a difficult or a bad thing, even though those are hard aspects. They are considered hard aspects in astrology for a reason, and not bad aspects, but more so hard ones, because it's like, this is a little challenging, but it's not necessarily something that's negative. I hardly ever see squares as a bad thing, and I'm actually kind of seeing that now too. I'm seeing Uranus keeping us motivated towards a life that can be lived without us carrying around this weight of our fears and our traumas and our past and our karma. And I use the word tempted, that we're tempted to see what it would be like to live a life without those fears and insecurities weighing us down, because Venus is also in the sign of Taurus, and Venus rules the sign Taurus. Now, Venus is the goddess of beauty, love, sex, attraction, chemistry. So she is the goddess of all things that make life worth living, that make life an experience rather than just a simple existence. Now, the very interesting thing about Venus for this new moon is Venus is trining, which is considered a very positive aspect. She is trining Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. Now, when we deal with a trine, we're dealing with energies that harmonize together. It's almost like they're on a conference call with each other, and they're all passing along the same sort of information, but all this information is connected. So with Venus trining Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, it's like there's this other life that we can feel ourselves living somewhere. Life would feel so much more free and liberating and enjoyable, and the quality of life would greatly increase. And it's like we can sense that life out there somewhere. It's like we can literally feel a different version or a different reality of ourselves out there living that life. We're almost tempted by this other life that we can feel out there somewhere. And that is what is really motivating us and pushing us to deal with our inner demons and to deal with our inner darkness, because it's like, you know what? No, I can feel this other life out there for me. And I know that I'm deserving of this other life. So I'm going to deal with whatever I need to do. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to go out there and claim that life. So all of these different planets, all of these different luminaries, their energies are really working together. Mars, the god of war, is helping us to go out there and fight and combat our demons, combat our inner darkness, combat the things that have been holding us back. And it's really tempting when you're fighting for something and you can see the benefit, you can see the prize. Venus is the prize that we are fighting for with Mars. So we're getting a little bit closer to this reality every single day, and Venus is helping us to realize that. Now, the last thing that we have to talk about in the astrological chart here is the planet Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius and Capricorn. He also rules the 10th and 11th house, and Saturn is known as the god of discipline, challenges, and fears through total destruction. It's almost like every planet has a sort of rite of passage that you have to go through in order to receive their benefits. So it's like with Pluto, you can only receive his benefits through death, or Mars through action, Venus through temptation, Neptune through getting lost. Jupiter's benefits come through some sort of inflammation, magnifying, right? Well, Saturn's benefits comes through total deconstruction. Now, Saturn just moved out of the sign of Capricorn, and he's been in Capricorn for the last almost 2 years now, and he's just moved out of Capricorn into the sign of Aquarius. Saturn at the time of this new moon will be at the 0 degree in the sign of Aquarius. So the 0 degree of any sign or any house is called the critical degree. And so if I'm gonna put up a picture for you guys so you guys can see. Now, a critical degree means intensity, a break or a move, the start of a whole new lesson. So Saturn just moved out of the 29th degree of Capricorn. Now, anytime we're dealing with the 29th degree of any particular sign or house, we're dealing with a debilitated position. So any planet that is in the 29th degree of any sign or house is in a debilitated position. Now, the 29th degree or the anaretic degree brings an immense pressure to move, to make a decision, to act, to make a choice, to do something. So sometimes this can lead to impulsivity. So it's Saturn moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius. This is going to bring a lot of changes to our collective environment and surroundings. But I'll be talking a lot more about that in a completely separate video. Now, in a video that I posted about a month ago, I called all these planets that are moving through Capricorn, I refer to it as unrooting work. So it's almost like when you pull a weed out from its root. That is what is happening with us. That's what's happening with the world. We are being unrooted from our karmic past. That's what Saturn was doing in the sign of Capricorn for the last 2 years. He was detaching or unrooting us from our material possessions, the things that we felt and thought that we needed in our life. Maybe that was a certain amount of money. Maybe that was a job. Maybe that was a relationship. Maybe that was a marriage. Maybe that was a house. Maybe that was living in a certain location. These were the material things that we thought identified us. So Saturn really helped to sort of unroot us from that, and it sort of snatched us away from those things, or it snatched those things away from us, and we had to sort of realize, like, oh wow, I can live without this. Now Saturn moving into the sign of Aquarius, Saturn is going to start detaching or unrooting us from the collective attachments that we've made, because Aquarius rules the 11th house. Aquarius energy is all about the collective, the groups of friends, the groups of people that we hang around, the people that we feel attached to, the people that we have put our identity into, the groups of people that we have put our identity into. You know how they say birds of a feather flock together? Well, Saturn's coming through about to fuck all that up, because basically Saturn's like, yeah, no, you don't need that. You don't need them. You don't need this group. You don't need this, or you don't need that. Or maybe there's a few things that you need to switch up or change up within this dynamic, so that the way you can find your own individuality. This is our need or want to fit in, to be accepted, to be validated by the people around us. You don't have to be worried if you really do love the groups of friends that you hang around. Like, you don't have to be worried that they're going to be snatched away from you. You're going to be snatched away from them. Saturn is only able to destroy the things that were weak, or that were detrimental towards us, or that were damaging towards us. He can only destroy things that were weak. Anything that is strong is going to survive Saturn. Saturn only comes through to clean up the trash that's in our life, basically. So we're only going to be separated from the need to be a part of any sort of collective in any way that is damaging to us. We all came here with a very specific assignment, with a very specific purpose. So in order for us to do our part for the collective, we cannot be attached to the collective. So we have to be free of the groupings and the opinions that we have subjected ourselves to over the course of our life. And Aquarius is the best. Aquarius is the most skilled at knowing how to be a very integral, valuable player or part of a community, a group, a society, a collective, while still holding on to their own individuality. So basically, to wrap up this entire astrological chart, what I'm seeing here, the forecast that I'm seeing here is, even though we are in this new moon in Aries, this is the very first sign of the zodiac, the very first sign of the astrological wheel, the very first house, I am not seeing this as a new beginning or a restart. In fact, this is a calibration. We are calibrating to the exact place and person that we are supposed to be. So the best visual that I can give is like we hitch a ride with the universe, right? And eventually that ride comes to a stop, and the universe and spirit says, I can't take you any further, because this road is not going to keep going straight. We've hit a fork in the road, and you can either go left, right, or back where you came from. The universe is allowing us to make a choice and a decision right now of if we want to move forward or not, and in which direction we want to move. And this is why I say this is a calibration, not a new beginning, because we've been on this road all along. All along, that fork in the road was waiting for us. All along, eventually we were going to have to decide to go either left, right, or backwards. To say that this is your new beginning would negate everything that you have been through, that you have survived, that you have endured up to this point. And that's just simply not the case. On the contrary, everything that you have been through, your entire journey that you have traveled, has all been to get you to this exact moment, place, and time right here, right now. So this is not about us being forced. This is about us deciding to move with the flow of energy and life, because we've been getting dragged by life for a very long time. And now we are being given the opportunity to walk side by side, hand in hand with life and the universe as equals, because the universe has always seen us as its equal. It's just us that had to take a little bit of time to catch up and to see ourselves as equal to the universe and the things around us. So the universe isn't even going to give us the satisfaction of deciding which direction we go in for us, because we are being tested at this moment right now. Spirit is testing our free will. What will we decide? We've been praying and asking and manifesting, setting intentions, law of attraction, believing, crying, suffering, enduring, challenging, defeating obstacles, slaying demons left and right. We've been doing all of these things. And now the universe and spirit is finally saying, okay, you've been saying for a long time that this is what you want. Well, it's over there. Go and get it. So if you are feeling a little lost right now, or anxious, or misguided, or confused in terms of what the next step is, where to go, what to do, I am so sorry to say that you might not be able to find the comfort in the things that used to bring you comfort, and the things that used to sort of ease your tension and ease your soul and soothe your spirit. You might not be able to rely on those things anymore. It seems like the more that we ask for answers, the more questions we're being left with. And this is because the universe is treating us in a way that a father would with their kid when their kid falls down, right? And it's like the kid is like all dramatic and they're screaming and they're crying. And the father is like, I'm not going to help you up because it's not as bad as what you think. It was just the fall that startled you. It was just the impact of the fall that startled you and shook you up a little bit, but you're actually okay. Spirit is allowing us to get up on our own and walk in the direction that we choose to walk in. So this is that complete independence. Not only are we free of our cycle and of our karma, but we're also being free of that hand that we've been holding on to. And it's not that spirit is leaving us or walking away from us. Spirit is still going to be right beside us, walking every single step of the way with us. It just won't be telling us where to go. We're going to be making the decisions now. Don't just situate or focus on the fact that I've gotten knocked down so many times. Focus on the fact that you've gotten up. You're still here. You're defiant. You're being defiant towards life. You're being defiant towards failure. So if you've been watching content like this and you feel like it's not helping, if you've been listening to your podcast, your motivational speeches, and it's just not really doing the trick anymore, or maybe it is bringing you comfort, but it's temporary comfort. It's like you lose it. It's like it's not as easy to grip onto that comfort anymore. That's because that tension is not meant to be suppressed. It's supposed to be inflamed. We're supposed to feel it. We're supposed to feel what it's like when we have to get up and do for ourselves. Like when nature leaves the nest. There's a lot that they cannot be taught in the safety of that comfort zone, in the safety of that nest. There's a lot that we gain when we're knocked down and we have to stand up on our own, when we are hurt and we have to decide to forgive, when we are traumatized and we have to decide to move on, because there's so much strength and knowledge and wisdom in that motion of just standing back up. And that's where we're at right now. And standing back up is something that you have to do on your own. If someone else helps you up, you might become codependent on the fact that I'm just going to wait for someone else to come in and help me up. No, not everything we can do on our own. But when it comes to deciding to get up, that is a decision that we have to make on our own. When it comes to the decision to heal, to forgive, to let go, to move on, to walk past, that is a decision that we make solely on our own. It's an exclusive decision. So now we can make our choices from here on out, but we are losing that safety net. And that's why there's so much generalized anxiety right now. Our karma and our past was our comfort zone, whether they were actually comfortable or not, whether they were actually healthy or not. It gave us a sense of peace because we were used to the circumstances. It was purely circumstantial. What we've become accustomed to has been ripped away from us. And this is why I say we are being recalibrated. Because when you recalibrate something, what does that mean? You're centering it again. You're bringing it right back to center. So we are recalibrating to who we are without our past, without our karma, without our traumas and pains and fears and doubts and angers and rage and insecurities, but just us as a free soul. But this is everything that you have been praying for, hoping for, wishing for, manifesting. We have to be very careful in manifesting because manifesting requires that we give something else up. And I talked about this last September 2019. You guys can even check on my community post. I had this major revelation about the Empress card and about how she doesn't just bring abundance, but she also comes with the demand that we release something, that we give something up, that we say goodbye to something in order to receive everything it is that we've been asking her for. So the simple question is what are you going to do? What are we going to do with this opportunity? guys, let's go ahead and look at the tarot cards. And the very first one that we have here is the Ace of Wands in reverse. Yeah, we're looking for something with this Ace of Wands in reverse. We're looking for a great sign, some sort of divine intervention. We're looking for like that big Moses parting the Red Sea moment to happen to tell us where to go and what to do. But this right here, this Ace of Wands in reverse, is basically Spirit saying, I'm not going to tell you what to do. This is Spirit saying, I'm not going to give you that. You have to be your own Moses parting the Red Sea. You have to be the sign that you've been waiting for. The universe is not going to give us the satisfaction of telling us where to go. We have to be the ones to choose. Like I said, the universe is not going to give us the satisfaction of telling us whether going right or going left is the better choice. The next card that we have here is the Seven of Wands and Death. So the thing that I'm seeing here with both of these cards, this is all about us trying to fight off change or death. It's very difficult for us to accept all of these changes because we're not necessarily used to it yet. It doesn't feel natural for us to be this free, to be this without the weight of the past and the karma. We are so used to carrying all of that around. And it sounds really weird, but we're in training. The past 10 years, what keeps coming up for me is the past 10 years, the past 10 years, the past 10 years. The past 10 years for some of you have been soul shattering. Like it's shaken up everything that you knew to be true. And so it's like something with the past 10 years keeps coming up with these cards here. Spirit has been training us for the last 10 years now. And that video is still coming. Like I told you guys, I received that message on February 13th. I'm just still doing a lot of astrological research with that video, but that video is coming. But I received that message February 13th. And basically what I'm getting here is like the last 10 years we've been training. Spirit has been training us the past 10 years. But it's kind of like how a firefighter trains, or they work with all that extra gear, and it can weigh more than like 70 pounds. We've been training with all this extra weight. And I'm just looking down at my cards, you guys. We've been training with a lot of extra weight over the last 10 years. Now that it's not on us anymore, can you imagine how much easier it is to move around? Can you imagine how much easier it is to move around? Now hiking up a trail or hiking up a mountain is nothing for us because we've been training with all that extra weight being our karma, our past, our traumas, our fears. You know, the lower sides of us that brought a lot of shame and things and guilt, a lot of weight onto us. And so it's like we've been walking around with that the last 10 years. Us walking around is us training. And now that that weight has been dropped from us, it's so much easier for us to hike up a mountain or hike up a trail. It's so much easier for us to just move around. We feel a lot more free. It's like, damn, like, this is what it feels like to not have that gravity on us anymore. That's what our karma and our past is. It's gravity. That's why I call it a gravitational pull when we deal with our past and our karma, because it's literal weight. Now we can move so much easier. We can do things so much easier, especially compared to other people that have not been in training like us. A lot of us are trying to fight off the fact that we have to drop that weight. That's what a lot of us are fighting here. A lot of us are trying to fight off the fact that we have to drop that weight because we're so used to it. We're like, wait, where's that weight at? We don't need it anymore. We've been certified. We've been certified warriors. We've been certified shadow demon karma slayers, basically. And then directly after that, we have here the King of Pentacles. That jumped out right after the Death card. I'm trying to get it to focus. This is us taking and conquering whatever the hell we want, taking what belongs to us and has been kept away from us. He is abundant. Do you guys see how abundant this King of Pentacles is? He is so abundant, but he's not just abundant spiritually or emotionally or mentally. He is materially blessed. He is materially abundant. And this is because when we deal with the pentacles, we are dealing with the material realm. We are dealing with the material plane. So this is the material life that has always been ours for the taking, that has always been promised to us. But now that this has been cleared out of the way, now that this karma has been cleared out of the way, it is so much more easier for us to take what is meant for us. It's so much easier. We just had to kill a lot of our past. We just had to kill a lot of our insecurities. We just had to kill a lot of our past, a lot of our insecurities, a lot of the things that were weighing us back and holding us down. We had to allow that to fall away from us. It's no longer a part of our identity. And so now that this has been cleared out of the way, now that we don't have to hike up that mountain, even though we've been trained to hike up that damn mountain, it's much easier for us to take what belongs to us. And then the card that came directly after this King of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles, this is the universe saying that this is what we are trying to give you. We're these people down here in the blue and in the orange, and this is the universe in this red cloak here, issuing things out. And as you can see, the universe is holding scales, the scales of balance. Things are being rebalanced. Too many of us and too many people have been weighed down by the greed of others. So we have suffered. We have been left without. We have been left with a lot of lack because others have been very greedy. They've been sort of hoarding things, right? Like I said, the universe is really balancing out those scales and saying, no more of that. No more of that. Too many people have gone without. The universe is saying, we're trying to give you a lot. We're trying to give you, what we're trying to give you here is not scraps. We're done with scraps. Fuck the scrap stuff. We're trying to give you this. An empire of abundance, material abundance, not just spiritual and mental and emotional abundance, because we've already worked through all that the last 10 years. We have worked through our emotional, mental, and spiritual trappings, hindrances, obstacles, challenges. We worked through a lot of that. Now, manifestation, the physical realm, Pentacles, is the final phase of energy. Energy first goes through the phase of the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. It's born in the spiritual. It manifests into the emotional. Then it manifests into the mental before we bring it to fruition in this physical form. So that is what is happening right now. Universe is trying to give us a boatload of things. They're trying to give us that life that we have always felt ourselves living somewhere. It just hadn't manifested or materialized into our reality yet. That's all that this is saying. And then the card that came directly after the Six of Pentacles here, Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So the Seven of Pentacles in reverse is us no longer having to wait to reap our harvest. When this is upright, when the Seven of Pentacles is upright, this is someone that has done the labor and they are waiting to reap what they have sown. We don't have to wait anymore, you guys. All we have to do is walk. All we have to do is just simply go and get it. Go and take it. And then directly after the Seven of Pentacles, what jumped out, more Pentacles energy, the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So this is whatever you want won't be given to us by some sort of divine being. This isn't about manifesting anymore or divine intervention. We don't have to go into the forest at midnight and bury our intentions under the earth, under the full moon. Like, universe and spirit is saying, okay, we heard you, we get it. You've been praying, you've been asking, you've been doing all these things. You've been really working on yourself. You've been creating space and opportunity for us to bless you materially, to bless you in the physical realm. Now all you have to do is just simply go and take it. And now let's go on ahead and check out the oracle cards that we have here. So the very first one that we have is Jupiter, abundance. Next one that we have, okay, look at that. Look at this, you guys. Part of fortune increase. What was I saying? All we have to do is go and take it. It's literally just sitting there waiting for us. But I don't need to say anything else. These cards are really, really saying it here. And then the next card that we have here is 11th house, friends. And 11th house is ruled by Aquarius and Saturn. Like I said, Saturn just moved into Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius. And the 11th house, it deals with the collective. It deals with our friend groups. It deals with society. It deals with the things and the people around us. So it deals with the collective, right? The next card that we have here is Moon, soul. Yeah, so this is instincts, basically. We are coming back into alignment with what our soul was promised. Like I said earlier, this is not a new beginning. This is calibration. We are being calibrated, recalibrated to our soul, to our instincts, to what was promised to our soul. The next card that we have here is Cancer, I feel. Yeah, we can, like I said, we can literally feel this life out there somewhere. All we have to just do is walk right over to it and take it. But we can literally feel this life out there somewhere. It's wild. It's like we're just being pulled towards it. And then, yeah, next card that we have here, water element, sensing. Exactly. We can feel this. We can feel this. No doubt about it. We can definitely feel this. Next card that we have here is 7th house, partners. Interesting. Seventh house is ruled by Libra and Venus. And seventh house, for some of you guys, this is a divine partner that you are manifesting. This is a divine partner that you are walking towards right now. And it's I don't know why, but I'm hearing like this year. A lot of you guys this year are going to be meeting your divine partner, whatever that means to you, soulmate, twin flame, whatever it means to you. That's what's going to be coming to you this year. For very many of you, I keep hearing like a year as I'm looking at this card. So for a lot of you guys, you're splitting from what isn't meant for you, and now you are aligning with what and who is meant for you with this divine, with this seventh house partners here. It's a divine partner for sure. And then the next card that we have here is solar eclipse revolution. Okay, so this is transformation, moving towards something that is ours. That's what a revolution is. It is stepping towards change, taking action towards change. Because, you know, revolutionaries, they are considered a little cuckoo, a little nuts, a little radical in their thinking, because they think so outside of the box to a lot of other people that are part of the herd. To a person that's a part of the herd, a radical, a free thinker is like, a revolutionary person is like, oh my, wait, what? Like, that's even possible? I don't even think that's possible. It's like our brains, when we're a part of the herd, our brains can't even accept that that's a possibility, right? A revolutionary is very radical in the fact that their thinking is, by any means necessary, I am taking what belongs to me. I am taking the life that I want to live by any means necessary. Two of my most favorite people in history, Malcolm X and Robespierre. I love those two. They were so radical and free thinking. They have very tragic deaths, very tragic endings, but you know, and they both happen to be Tauruses. I'm just realizing. That's interesting. Really interesting. But yeah, you know, they were so different in their thinking, right? But that was because they were walking towards change while everyone else was just simply walking with the herd, powered by the machine that tells them where to go and what to do and who they are. A revolutionary is not powered by a machine. They're powered by their inner selves. They're powered by their own internal GPS, by their own internal system, by their own internal map. That's what they're powered by. That's what they're fueled by. That's what they're passionate about. So solar eclipse is a realization of what's meant for us. That's what this is. It's a realization of what's meant for us. The next card that we have here is Earth Element Stabilization. Okay. Yeah, so this is that 4-year that I was talking about, the year of stabilization, and we have a few Pentacles cards here too as well. So there's a lot of earth energy here trying to stabilize us. There are things coming in trying to stabilize us. That's kind of what I'm getting with this earth element stability card is like the things that are coming in trying to destabilize us and causing disturbances and disruptions and turbulence in our life are the main things that's actually going to root us. It's actually going to ground us. It's actually going to ground us into the center of ourselves. This turbulence is the one thing that is going to root us into something stable because we are experiencing so much destabilization. It's all working together for something greater. All right, and the last few cards that we have here is envy. Okay, and it says here, I am the same as everybody with different challenges. All right, so I was kind of picking that up with the Seven of Wands here. When I first saw the Seven of Wands, I was kind of picking up a little bit of envy or jealousy, but the rest of the cards didn't really necessarily allude to that. So I didn't say anything. But now that we have this oracle card here that says envy, yeah, for sure, I need to say this. Be careful about the people that you're hanging around. Because we also, we also have the 11th house friends card and the 7th house partners card here, along with envy and the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. So be very careful about the people that you're hanging around. Okay. Some of you are going to be split away from certain partnerships, groups, friends, allies, comrades, family members even, right? Even family members you're going to be split away from. And this is because they can't truly be happy for you. And once you start claiming what is yours, once those blessings start materializing in your life, those people would be extremely jealous of you. And Spirit does not want you around that. You don't have to bleed an animal and sell your soul to curse someone, you guys. You just simply don't. That's such a generalization. It's such a stereotype, but you don't need to do any of those things to curse anyone. You want to really put some bad juju, some bad energy towards someone, all you have to do is dislike them. All you have to do is hate them. All you have to do is be jealous, be envious. All you have to do is talk shit about them. That is putting energy out there. That's all it takes. We don't need all these tools and everything. Literally all it takes is your heart. How does your heart feel? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel black? That's what you're emitting. Does it feel light? Does it feel airy? Does it feel full of peace and love? That's what you are emitting. That's what you are putting out. That's what you are sending out into the ether, into the stratosphere. Same exact thing when it comes to cursing someone. All you have to do is just simply not like someone. Hating someone can be cursing them. Jealousy can be cursing someone. These emotions always come right back to sender though, so you don't have to worry that those emotions are going right back to those people. That's why we shouldn't even honestly hate people that kind of deserve to be hated. This is exactly why, because those emotions, they always come right back to us like a boomerang. Envy is enough to keep a person held back. These people may try to talk you out of ideas or talk down about your ideas or laugh at them simply because they have nothing going on in their own life. That is why certain friends and family members, people around you, they may try to shut down your dreams and your ideas and your hopes and your ambitions, your goals, your aspirations. They may shut them down by either laughing at them or not talking about them, or you can seem really excited about something. I had a friend do this one time. I didn't realize it till years later. She was always somebody that used to laugh at the ideas that I had. She would never really support them, and I now looking back, I realize like, oh wow. And this is because people do this because they haven't tapped into their own creative ability. They haven't tapped into their own ability to create something, to think about something, to be passionate about something. They haven't tapped into their own passions. If they had, they wouldn't be threatened by the fact that you've tapped into your own internal well of passion and purpose. But if you are around anyone that sees you sort of tapping into your own center, recalibrating, finding yourself, and they just cannot be happy for you, you might want to think about cutting that person off or distancing yourself a little bit, because they are never going to be able to be happy for you until they find their own sense. And a lot of people, they have no clue how to find it. A lot of people have no clue how to find it. So because a person has not tapped into their own creative abilities, they may try to thwart or counteract your own. That is resistance to you. And it's not fair, but it is resistance to you. And we have to be able to see these things, whether it is a best friend, whether it's a partner, a spouse, a lover, whether it's a family member. I've dealt with this with family members, you guys. So if certain people are not around you anymore, or you've sort of been guided to distance yourself from them a little bit, it's for the greater good. It's for the greater good, and do not allow them to guilt you back into like, okay, I'll come around a little bit more. Fuck that. You need to look out for you, because they're not looking out for themselves. So how could they be looking out for you? They can't be. It's impossible. So spirit may be saying that I'm not going to bless you until you separate from this person or these people, because this person is going to benefit off of your blessings, and they're not meant to. Envy. They're not meant to. They're not meant to. Why do you think he is fighting in the Seven of Pentacles, you guys? The Seven of Pentacles comes directly after the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is all about what? Triumph. It's all about triumph, victory, success. And then the Seven of Pentacles comes. Why would this card come directly after victory? Because the people that saw, the same people that were in the crowd cheering that man on in the Six of Wands are the same people that showed up to his doorstep in the Seven of Wands, trying to take what is his, because they're so jealous, they're so envious. That's why the Seven of Wands comes directly after the Six of Wands. Spirit might be saying, I refuse to bless you until you separate from this person, because these people are trying to benefit off of your blessings, and they are not meant to. They're not ready to see what I can do. That's what the universe is trying to say to some of you, is that these people are not ready to see what I can do. They can't handle seeing what I can do. They're not ready to see me parting the Red Sea. They're going to try to convince themselves that it's everything else. They're going to try to convince themselves, oh, well, it's just because of who they're dating, or it's just because of their family, or it's just because they had help with this, this, and this. No, actually, it was because of you, your hard work. It's because you being in alignment with spirit and the universe, and you putting in that work. Cinderella story. A lot of people think that Cinderella was just like, oh, like she just was given all these things by the fairy godmother. No, Cinderella worked her ass off for years with her evil ass stepmother and stepsisters, right? But no one ever notices the hard work that she put in. She put in a lot of hard physical labor, and mentally she had to put in a lot of work to stay mentally separated from that negativity that she was living in. She had to stay faithful to herself, to her own happiness. She had to stay committed to that, even though she was surrounded by, you can learn a lot from Disney movies. Even though she was surrounded by, those negative stepsisters and stepmother, she had to put in a lot of work to stay committed to the life that she knew she was supposed to live. That is exactly what is happening with some of you. You are a Cinderella story. People don't see your hard work. All they see is what you get out of it. The prince and the glass slipper and the big ass house and the titles. That's all some people can see. That's all some people want to see. Some people refuse to see the hard work that you had to endure to get there, to get to that point, because they don't want to accept the fact that, damn, that takes hard work. Because of the simple fact that certain people cannot be happy for you. They have too much hate or envy or jealousy or negativity in their heart. They don't believe in themselves enough to realize that I can have this too. I can have this abundance too. Envy blinds people from understanding and believing in themselves enough to realize that they can have abundance too. They feel it, they feel like they should have it too. They feel like they should have that abundance too, but they don't realize that they can have it too. They don't realize that they are capable and able to bring that into their reality. The only part that they realize is you have it and I don't. I'm lacking it, but you're not. And it builds up envy. It builds up jealousy because they don't believe in themselves enough. They don't find themselves worthy enough. The next card that we have, freedom. We're being freed. Our soul is being freed. We're being freed of those people that are trying to keep us back. We're being freed of the parts of ourself that was trying to keep us back. And it says here, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Exactly. The next card that we have here is health. So some of you have been or will be focusing on your health. And it's interesting with this virus going around for this card to come up. But I think it's made a lot of us stop and take better care of our bodies. So many of us, we're kind of neglecting our bodies, and we can't do that anymore, And it says here, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Yeah. And then the next card that we have is doubt. Doubt does not have a home here anymore with us. We have literally slayed that. We've slayed the doubt. And it says, I release the need to know all the answers. Exactly. And then the card that we had underneath the deck was trust. And it says, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. I love that. And so with trust here, allow your inner voice to guide you. Some of you can feel that life out there for you somewhere. You can feel that divine partner that's out there waiting for you. For some of you, that's what it is. You can feel that divine partner that's out there waiting for you somewhere. Some of you, you can feel that divine friend group or community. The place you belong is out there somewhere. That life is out there just waiting for you. You can feel it because your soul is already attached to it. We are revolutionizing what we were born into. Then we have the we're revolutionizing what we were born into. Some people were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, And that's why I've never understood why people say, like, I have no sympathy for rich people. And it's like, why not? They're people too, And some of the most trapped people are rich people. The people that have a name or money or reputation to protect. Some of those are the most trapped people. Some people are revolutionizing what they were born into. So trust that inner voice. Trust that inner voice, and you're walking towards the greatest life that is meant for you. That new world is here. We are stepping into that new world right now. This is why the world is feeling such a shift. Like I was saying with the six of Pentacles right here. The universe is holding scales, saying, nuh-uh, who actually deserves some of this abundance? Because it hasn't been issued out the way that it was supposed to have been issued out. So now the universe is coming in here to take over and say, nuh-uh, only certain people are going to get this. And the only people that are going to get this are the ones that are willing to actually take that leap of faith and walk towards the life that was meant for them, because you can feel it. You can feel it for a reason. You know why? Because the universe is holding onto that life for you for a reason. The universe has been holding that life for you in safekeeping. The universe has been protecting what you know is meant for you. It's been protecting it from those envious and jealous people, from those people that have been trying to hold you back, from that own inner voice that you have, that little voice that you have that was trying to hold you back, that was trying to hold you in fear. The universe has been protecting it for us, so that the way we could go through what we needed to go through, that the way we could train with that extra weight. And now that we're not doing that anymore, the universe is like, great, now I can finally give this to you. Now I can finally give this to you. Let's just see one more. So I was just shuffling one more card, and these cards, they did not. Okay, they are just going everywhere. So I had a few that jumped out. I didn't want that to happen, but we have here all beautiful Oshun, generosity. Oshun. Then we have Kuan Yin, compassion. Gula, I think I'm saying that right, healing. Sophia, divine wisdom. And Scold, the future. Look at that. Walking towards our future. I'm in love. And then underneath that deck we have, ooh, I got goosebumps with this one. Morgan, I think I'm saying that right. And this is Death and Magic. You guys, this is all that I'm saying. I'm gonna obviously leave the video off with the cards. We're gonna be okay. Don't worry about this. This is going to be a thing of the past pretty soon. This feeling that you might be feeling, this discomfort, this tension, this loom, this dread, it's all there for a very divine purpose. Don't fight against it, just allow it. Okay, thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I do pray that this reading, that this video, that all of this brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to take this time out to thank your beautiful guides, my beautiful guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit itself for these messages today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon, but until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed. Please keep conquering the world, and I'll be back next time, all right? Bye, guys.